Welcome everybody to today's University of Gloucestershire webinar. My name is Tuan Nguyen and I am the Relationship Manager at Gus and Uni for the University of Gloucestershire. We're joined here today by University of Gloucestershire colleagues, specifically from the School of Media, who will shortly be providing an introduction to the portfolio of creative media courses. I'll shortly hand over to Carla Stanton, who's the International Marketing and Student Recruitment Manager at University of Gloucestershire for South Asia. But before I do that, if I could just ask everyone to remain on mute or to mute their microphone for the duration of the webinar. And as a reminder, we're also recording the session. In order to share it afterwards. So it's up to you whether you want to switch your webcam off or leave it on. And if you have any questions, please enter them into the text box and we'll look to answer them towards the end of the webinar when we will have a Q&A session. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Carla.
Thanks, Tuan, and thanks to Gus for organising the session this morning. We're really pleased to be able to have the opportunity to talk to you all about some of the fantastic courses that we have within our School of Media. As Tuan has said, my name is Carla. I'm the Regional Manager within the International Recruitment Team at the University of Gloucestershire, and I cover the South Asia region specifically. I'm really pleased to be joined by three of my academic colleagues from the School of Media this morning who are going to talk to you about their individual subject areas. So first of all, we have my colleague Fiona Curran, who is the academic subject lead for our courses in film and television. Then we also have Matthew Lovett with us, who is the academic lead for all the courses within the music and sound area. And then last but not least, we have Neil Layton, who is our subject leader for the courses within the journalism and communications subject area. Just as Tuan has said, please pop any questions that you might have into the chat box and we'll try and get through to those at the end and save sort of 5 minutes at the end to go through those. So without further ado, I will hand over to Fiona, who's going to kick off proceedings and talk to you about film and television. Thanks, Fiona.
Hello, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I am going to share my screen now and give you a whistle-stop tour through my courses. I'll try and go as fast as I can. If you've got any questions I can answer today, great. If you haven't though, because I have to go off early, please just ask Carla and she'll forward them on to me and I can answer anything at any point that you like, really. So I'm just going to share my screen so we can show you a few visuals as we go along. Everybody's seeing that? I think you should be. Okay, so in my department, there are 7 courses now. There is BA Animation, BA Film Production, BA Television Production, and Film and TV Level 6 BA. We also have 3 MAs, Filmmaking, Animation, and Screenwriting, which is distance learning and is just coming on this year. So, a quick snapshot of animation, basically. This is our animators at Annecy International Animation Festival, where they go every year and will be returning to when lockdown is finally lifted more thoroughly in Europe. The course is a generalist animation course. They do all sorts of things from stop motion, 2 and 3D through to VFX, which is what we've found in our sector of the industry to be the most useful. All courses, as I'm sure all of us will say to you today, are highly industry facing and relevant technically to what students will be expected to do when they leave university. So, oh, no, it's decided to go to sleep. Thank you for that. Here we go. So I'm just going to show you some visuals of the students working. We insist at level 4 that they all reignite their love of, or find their love of life drawing so that they are capable modelers and drawers. We start them back at the beginning of that. Then we take them into the labs, into the studio labs, where they work across a variety of different forms of animation. The first year is all about fundamentals, getting yourself settled, getting all the technology in. The second year is more about experimentation, working with different forms, working with figures, working with VFX. And as we work towards the third year, we start to explore very different aspects of VR and VFX. We do stop motion. We have a very good relationship with Aardman Animation, who I'm sure you know through Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, films like that. And we do stop motion as well. We do a massive trip every year where we go out and meet all our local industry people who are all around us in Birmingham, Bristol and London. Last year, because we had to be online, we did a lot of virtual visits to studios. But I'm hoping next year we'll be back to going out to meeting people face to face. There we are at Aardman, as you can see, standing underneath Shaun the Sheep. The students do a special workshop with Aardman, so they're part of the Aardman Academy. And in fact, we've had graduation screenings at Aardman as well. The last person that we had a workshop there was Tim Allen, who was the animation storyboard expert for films like Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs, as an example. We are twinned with the town of Annecy, so not only do we go to the International Animation Festival, but we have a very special privilege of being allowed into the marketplace, which is very important for students to get an idea of what's been commissioned. And we managed to get into all the great parties as well. So we have a very nice time in Annecy when we go. We also see the latest in international animation, which is screened across several cinemas in this small southern French town. All of us will speak today about the guests we have and how remarkable they are and how lucky we are to get them. But our teams are very instrumental in bringing in people who are first class in their field. So you see Richard Starzak there, who is the originator. He's the longest employee at Aardman Animation and is the originator of Shaun the Sheep. And as you can see, the model in the top there is very much modelled on him. And it's the farmer in Shaun, I think. So we have loads and loads of different people who come in every year for every course, in person and online, to share their expertise with students. This year with Curtis Jobing, better known as Bob the Builder. He came in and gave us his wisdom, and he was really fantastic, actually. To follow on from this, from the BA, we now have an MA in animation, and the difference between them is this. So BA animation, learn the skills, go into industry. MA animation is designed for people who want to build a series or a film or any other animated product and take it to market. So this is a marketplace MA versus a practice MA. We've got 8 students this year. One of the students went to Annecy's virtual online academy and immediately, which delighted us, had interest from Illumination, which is the makers of Despicable Me and Minions. And she had DreamWorks looking at her and talking to her. So it goes to prove that we get them ready for market. Film production, one of our most popular courses. Again, level 4, foundations. So they learn all the technical skills, they learn the fundamentals of craft of filmmaking, be that pre-production planning, script writing, or basically the fundamentals of working on set and working with people, which is something we find we have to return to more and more. The course is Screen Skills accredited, and we are a member of NAHIMI, which is the National Association for Higher Education in the Moving Image. And we are award winners, multiple award winners in multiple festivals in multiple places. And we just won 3 Royal Television Society Awards, 1 for Best Short Film, Scripted, and 2 Craft Awards. So this is something that the film production team concentrate their efforts on very much. Getting students to festivals, getting them to marketplaces, getting them into industry. Sometimes that comes by getting students out through festivals, sometimes directly into industry. But meanwhile, we collect the festival badges as the films go out there and prove very popular. That's just some of the films that we have won. You know, I'm sorry to be blasé, but we win so many awards all of the time that you just need to come and see them. So at level 4, they learn the craft of production design, they learn how to work on sets, they learn how to light, they learn how to work on location, how to work in teams. There's a fight choreography workshop, so we try and teach them the basics that come outside the remit of just the technical skills of filmmaking. At level 4, COVID permitting, the students go to the Berlin Film Festival at level 4, and at level 5, they go to Amsterdam as well to do the documentary festival. So they are well travelled with the team abroad to appropriate festivals. At 5, they start to do more design and more, excuse me, that's a bit of a gruesome image, I now realise, for first thing in the morning here, afternoon where you are, or possibly evening. But prosthetics, etc., obviously feature in many of our films. We have a state-of-the-art film studio and camera equipment that you would expect as we accelerate towards 8K and beyond. We have post-production facilities where we work on grading through DaVinci. We are generally AVID accredited, and again, another course with a multiple of guest speakers who come in from our very own alumni, some of them, like Lewis Arnold, who is now become quite a major television director in the UK, through to a variety of different speakers of every kind, from actors through to production designers, cinematographers, scriptwriters, etc. There is an MA filmmaking, so students who don't go out immediately into industry, who've maybe not got to make enough films, can stay back and do an extra year. This is becoming more international now. We're seeing people come through into MA filmmaking from Russia, from India, from Thailand. So that's becoming a more international MA, which is great, particularly for me. I'm used to big international cohorts, so I'm trying to welcome everybody and grow our MA even more. TV production, the difference between film and TV production is basically, in a nutshell, there's many differences, but in a nutshell, film produces film, TV produces people. And that's the difference. And that's how we tell them apart in terms of employability. Also with television, students tend to do more studio work because that's much more part of their remit. They do factual television, they do entertainment. So their remit is a bit broader than film, which tends to be documentary, factual, experimental. It's been great for television recently because obviously we've all been locked down. So a lot of TV has been digested, and in this country, because we have a very good long history of production, we are seeing more money coming into the UK. Netflix are increasing their budget, more building and more production generally. So I think we're in for a golden couple of years, maybe 3 years, of production in the UK. We have state-of-the-art television facilities, TV studio and gallery there, and the students are taught by practitioners as they are on every course. They also take part in live events, Jessica Hines an audience with, they do sports, varsity, and now we're doing much more in the way of outside broadcast as well with them. Because we've got a course associate who's not in this picture, who has an OB unit, and he turns up and we go off and we do outside broadcasts with cameras that £250,000 a throw. So students get a great outside experience too on TV. Lots of masterclasses, workshops with producers and directors, commissioning editors we're seeing there, run by Vanessa Bewley, who is our television ex-TV presenter actually, and talent producer who is now teaching works experience on TV. They're very well prepared for industry, our students, and we're capitalising on places like the Farm, which has many outposts. You may even have come across the Farm yourself, in LA, in London, in Paris, and our students tend to be recruited to there quite a lot. We've got a great employability record on TV, and those are some of the productions that we're on regularly. So we have people on Doctor Who, we have people in CBTV, Strictly, X Factor Global, Primetime, grandchildren, etc., etc. Film and Television Level 6 is the course that you can come into as a top-up at Level 6, which again is very aligned with television and film. And basically, you can get the same finishing as a Level 6 television student would. So those are the, broadly speaking, are the actual production courses. The new MA has just come online now, so that goes online from September 21, and that is an online distance learning MA. So basically, we're looking to grow that internationally as well, but it's a screenwriting, new screenwriting MA that can be taken as distance learning. And I think I've probably talked enough. So if you've got any questions, great. If not, I will hand over. Carla, do I come back to you?
Yeah, okay, thanks Fiona, that was brilliant, thank you very much. Are there any immediate questions anyone has for Fiona? Feel free to pop your camera on or just shout out or pop into the chat. If not, we'll take any questions at the end, Fiona. Yeah, and I will, yeah, I'll forward any on to you as well. Thanks, Fiona, because I know Fiona's got to go off and do some teaching now as well.
I'll hang around
so
for
thanks ever so much.
So I need to go.
Brilliant, great, thanks, Fiona. So we'll hand over to Matthew now, who's going to talk to you about our courses within the music and sound area. Thanks, Matthew.
Hi everyone, right, let's get a little bit of screen sharing up and running. So I just fire that up, and then if I come into there, that's interesting, why are we not doing that? Oh, I see. I'm having fun and games. So I've just had my computer back from our IT because they put some updates in, and I'm just realising that it's not letting me share without changing some settings. Just give me a second.
Oh, okay, no problem, no problem. Fiona, whilst you're there, I was just going to ask you, what sort of intake numbers do we have for our sort of film and TV courses? What sort of group sizes do you tend to teach in?
Well, teaching, we teach technical needs to be taught in relatively small numbers. So technical classes will happen up to sort of 25. However, the intake on film might be, in an average year, might be 85. Television can be up to 45. Animation can be up to 30. And the MAs at the moment are standing 10 to 15. So, you know, but we tend to teach them in smaller groups if we're teaching technology and certain other classes. So it's not that you don't ever get your hands on the camera if you're in a big group. But those are roughly the numbers that we have on the courses.
Fantastic, yeah.
I
should probably mention, oh, sorry, Matthew, are you okay?
I'm just thinking whether it might be an idea, whether Neil, are you up for going next? And I'll just try and fix these bugs, not to not to take up too much time, just faffing about with settings, basically.
No worries, yeah. Is that okay with you, Neil? Have you got your slides available?
Yep, I'll go for it. So I have had some tech problems, but hopefully everyone can hear me okay. So hello everyone, I'll just share my screen. Right, and let me see if I can go full screen on this to help people see it. Oh, bear with me. I'm just going to try and get this up so that it's full screen for everyone. If not, I might have to do it like this, but people won't be able to see. Hold on a minute. There we go.
That's it. If you try slideshow, yeah.
There we go. Can everyone
Great.
see that?
We can see
okay?
it. Yeah, yeah, all good. Thanks.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Well, thank you. As Carla said at the start, my name is Neil Layton. I'm the academic subject leader for journalism and communications, which is one of the 3 groups at the media school. So I'll briefly go through today the courses that we have in the group, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level, and you'll see that there are some common themes coming out from things that Fiona talked about and what I talked about, and I'm sure what Matthew will talk about afterwards as well. So like Fiona, we've got a similar size number of courses. We've got 6 undergraduate courses and 2 postgraduate courses in the group. I'll go through those individually in a moment and give you a brief rundown of what each one entails, what sort of things the students do on those courses. Again, as Fiona talked about, and when she was going through her courses, all our courses are very much focused around industry. They're tied in with industry, they're taught by practitioners. We bring in people from industry, and the primary focus is getting our students through the courses, skilled up with the confidence to go straight out into industry as well. So just a picture there on the right of screen, you'll see one of our undergraduate journalism students who on her placement with Reuters in Tokyo had the experience of interviewing Leonardo DiCaprio on the red carpet for one of his films. I mean, it was, if you talk to her about it at the time, it was a nerve-wracking experience, but it's a fantastic experience for her. And you know, we're at, throughout the course trying to encourage our students to get out into industry alongside the course's placements and experience, and to get experiences like that which really support the things they learn whilst they're with us at university. Okay, so these are the undergraduate courses in the group, starting at the top there with BA Journalism. Journalism is a course which is primarily designed for people who have an interest in news and current affairs journalism. So it's double accredited. So there are 2 main accreditation bodies in the UK. One's called the BJTC, the Broadcast Journalism Training Council. The other one is the NCTJ, which is the National Council for the Training of Journalists. So it's a dual accredited degree. Students come out from that course with a degree and also a diploma from the NCTJ, which is recognised in industry as an additional strong qualification which supports a degree in undergraduate degree in journalism. So as I say, news and current affairs is the focus. So we are looking to cover areas such as media law, politics. They'll also look at other areas such as celebrity journalism, for example. They have the option to do that. And then in the 2nd and 3rd year of this course, and you'll see that in all our journalism courses, we do what we call news days or production days, and these are simulated workplaces. So the students will run their own newsroom in this instance in the 2nd year, and then they will develop that into in the 3rd year as well. And they are expected to manage it. So somebody would work as an editor, a news editor, and they would be expected to go out and get multimedia content. And you know, we don't call this digital journalism because all journalism is digital now. So it's multi-platform. So students will be gathering content for social media, for a website, for television. We have a broadcast studio, and also for radio as well. They'll be looking at doing podcasts. So it's multifaceted, multimedia. There's an investigations module for those who want to look into some more in-depth journalism in the final year. All students on our journalism courses also do a final major project, or they can choose to do an academic dissertation. And that's their opportunity to wrap everything up in the final year for a major piece of work. And the intention of that is that they can then take that into industry as an example. It's a major part of their portfolio that they can show future employers, or if they're freelancing, they can show that as an example of the work that they can do. Likewise, dissertations, students have used their dissertations, I know, for job interviews to show, you know, a level of knowledge, a higher level of knowledge about the industry. BA Sports Journalism is the sort of sister course of BA Journalism. That one's got the accreditation of the BJTC, the Broadcast Journalism Training Council, because that is the best suited accreditation body for that course. And as the title suggests, it's for people who want to specialise in sports journalism, which is a huge part of the journalism industry. obviously it's sports specialism, but also sports news is news now. In Europe, in the UK, for example, the recent Euro competition, whilst obviously England's progress in that has raised a lot of interest, there has been a lot of news coverage of sports events as well. So whilst it's a specialism in the sports area, sports is very much part of everyday news as well. So students on that course will be specializing on things like obviously match reporting. They'll be doing sort of long form features. We get them out to clubs very early, so they'll be shadowing members of staff who work as journalists. They'll be going out, sitting in press boxes in football clubs, rugby clubs. In the summer, they'll look at cricket. They'll also look at other sports as well. So we get them out working. They do things like live text updates, so social media updates, and they'll do pitch side reporting for television. They'll be doing radio wrap-ups as well. So again, it's a multimedia course with a focus across many different platforms. On that course, and you'll see as I work down the list there, I've flagged up where there's a placement option on our undergraduate course, and that means that it's a 4-year version of the course. In there, between their 2nd and 3rd year, the students get the opportunity to take a year out in industry, and that's structured. So essentially they take a module, but the module is their year in industry, and there is some work on which they have to reflect. There is a supervision element as well, so the member staff will be supervising that year. So it's a structured part. They don't just leave and come back. It's a structured part of that course. And both those courses, and I've put this underneath there, you'll see these have quite a high IELTS requirement. That's because obviously we're looking at journalism, and we need a sort of a high standard of written spoken English, for example. However, the main reason those are so high is it's a requirement of one of our accreditation bodies. What the BJTC requires us to set that. So that's obviously something to bear in mind for students who may be coming or interested from overseas. The third one there is BA Magazine Journalism. Again, follows very much the same structure as the two above, but it's for students who are interested in magazine industry, longer form journalism. By longer form, I mean sort of longer content. It's very much split now between digital and print production. The idea is we produce graduates on that course who can both write, can produce content, audio, written content, video content, social media content, but also are able to design magazines as well. So it's split between the two. So the students come out as have the ability to design, but also produce editorial content. The fourth one on the list there is BA Digital Media. That's a really interesting course. It's looking at emerging technologies. So it's obviously video, audio, but there are also new technologies or newer technologies such as augmented reality, virtual reality. And the big thing that course is looking at, specializing now in is immersive media as well. So a really interesting course for students who are interested in looking at some of the new and emerging areas of media and media production. The fifth one there on the list is a new course we've just recently developed this, and that is in media and communications and media. This particular course is for students who are interested in content creation, but also the world of public relations and communications. So they'll look at things like obviously creating video, creating written content, but also how to draw up a strategic communications plan, how to do a risk strategy, for example. And again, on that course, the students will look at, they'll have their equivalent of a production day or a news day. So they'll be in their 2nd year looking at running their own simulated in-house public relations department. And in their 3rd year, they'll run their own in-house, when I say in-house, when they run their own PR agency as well. And we'll look to bring in live briefs to that. And I'll talk a little bit about live briefs in a minute when I sort of summarize how we approach teaching and learning. And the final one on the list there is BA Journalism and Communications. And that's a level 6. So that's just a final year course for students who have got through their, perhaps got through their level 4, level 5. So they're the 1st and 2nd year equivalent of our degrees at another institution. And then we essentially bring them in to level 6 to finalize their degree with us. Moving on, hopefully, to our next screen, which is the postgraduate courses. We have 2 courses currently, and those are both focused on the communications areas of the industry. Again, looking slightly more at advanced level of what we'd look at our new communications undergraduate degree. Similar sort of areas, specializing in, say, content creation, strategic communications, and these are very much designed for students who might have done, it could be done a journalism undergraduate degree, of humanities undergraduate degree, and want to specialize in this particular area. We also have people who are already working in industry and who might be want to change jobs or develop their communication skills further. The top one includes some MA stage pathways, which we've developed with partner institutions in Canada. And in those pathways, the students essentially join us for the final dissertation major project module to complete their master's degrees. So again, top one, general communications. The second one is sports communications, and that's for people who may want to work for sports agencies, sports communications agencies, or most of our students will be looking at working in clubs as journalists or communications professionals inside sports clubs. The learning experience, Fiona's talked quite a bit about this already, so I won't go into too much depth, because as I say, there are emerging themes, there are common themes across all the groups in the school. The practical sessions are in small class sizes, so usually around 24, 25, maybe a little bit bigger than that. But that's so we can work alongside our students, we can teach those practical skills, and we can monitor our students. We can get to know what they're good at, what they need to develop. It's really important that we keep those to manageable sizes. Some of the more theory-focused modules, of which there are few actually, can be taught in larger group sizes, but most of our modules, most of our are small. Practical focus, I've already talked about this. It's learning by doing. Obviously, we're teaching them, we're working alongside the students, but they're actually doing it. They're learning the camera skills, they're learning how to produce a social media plan, and they're actually doing it and learning at the same time. 3 main strands of what we seek to give our graduates, and again, I talked about this right at the top. It's the skills, it's the knowledge, but also the confidence, particularly at undergraduate level. It's about instilling that confidence in our students to be able to go out to work, and if they're freelancing, it's to be able to get that work as well. So confidence is that third but really important final strand. With the latest technology, Fiona's talked about the sort of cameras we've got. As I say, we invest quite heavily in the latest technology. We talk to industry, we see what industry are using, and we replicate that. So for example, we're just investing at the moment in upgrading our journalism TV studio to bring it up to standard, to allow it more flexibility in what we do. We focus on employability and enterprise. I've talked a bit about the employability side as well. It's about helping our students become active freelancers as well, or if they want to start up their own businesses, and that's something we're looking to produce and to push forward. We're taught by people who are practitioners, people who actually go out and work in industry as reporters, journalists, content producers. You'll see there Chris Ford in the top right of our screens. He works on our sports journalism course as a senior lecturer, but he also is a reporter, pitchside reporter for Amazon Sport. He also works for, in the UK, you may be aware of BT Media as well. He works for BT as a reporter. Likewise, we have course associates, or a course associate, as well as a series of guest lecturers. Farah Storr there in the bottom right is what we call course associate. She works alongside students in our magazine course. So she's not a lecturer, she just gives her time to come and mentor students, to judge competitions, to give them feedback as well. And there's people like, there's Farah, but then we also have guest lecturers who come in, or they join us virtually to give students workshops or lectures. We have trips, and we also have to industry, as Fiona's talked about. We also have an annual media festival as well, and that sort of brings together a load of guests at the same time to talk to our students. Sometimes on themes, sometimes on separate things from different parts of the school. Placements are an important part of what we do. All our students at undergraduate level have to do a placement module in their final year. It's really, really important, but we're actually encouraging our students to get out into industry and to get work experience before their final year. So here's just a few examples of brands of organisations where our students have gone on placements. Hopefully most of those will be recognisable because they're fairly international brands. The Guardian is one of our leading broadsheet newspaper, but leading news brands. Top one in the right there is Real Madrid's badge, and I'll talk a bit about that one in my final slide. We also like to introduce live briefs to our students. So for example, when they're doing their production days, somebody from industry will come in, they will set them a brief, and the students will work to that brief. So they might be pitching to somebody to industry with their ideas. They produce that content for them, that project for them, and then they get feedback from the person or group from industry. So a few examples of some of the briefs or some of the organisations that have set briefs for our students recently. HyperX is a games hardware producer. They've set up some briefs for our digital media students, as has Unilever, which is a very large global brand. And at a more local level to us here, Cheltenham is a big festivals town. We have loads of festivals, from science to literature. Our students on the magazine course produce the Jazz Festival magazine in the summer. They produce it in real time, so they produce it over the 4 days of the festival when it's happening. And then that is sent out digitally, and there are print versions on the last day. And then our students on our master's course have also done a communications project for Visit Cheltenham, which is one of our tourism organisations locally. And finally, my last slide, as I said right at the start, what it's all about is getting our students out and into industry, into those great professional level jobs. So just a few examples of students who've come through our undergraduate courses recently and gone into industry. Amber there, and on the left-hand side, it's a graduate from our magazine course, and this is a good example of somebody who's got the skills for magazine production, but these are inherently transferable. So Amber actually works as a content and copy executive for Superdry, which is a major clothing fashion brand in the UK, and I believe it also has some international reach as well, that brand. Also up in the middle there is a graduate of our journalism course. She's now working for the BBC as a broadcast journalist. And in the top right there, sorry, not a very great picture because you can't really see Nick very well, but he's in the Real Madrid studios. Nick did placement with Real Madrid, and that led to a job with Real Madrid TV. So something very exciting, one of the top football clubs in the world. He works for them as a commentator and a presenter. And as I said earlier, when I was talking about sports communications and to an extent sports journalism, those opportunities are very much there within clubs to work as a content producer or as a sort of in-house journalist. That is my last slide, a bit of a whiz through in the end. Obviously, like Fiona, I'm available for questions now, or as I say, I'm happy for my email to be shared if people have anything later. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Neil. That was really great. Thanks for that presentation. Does anyone have any immediate questions, or otherwise I'll hand over to Matthew and we'll take some questions at the end. Anybody? I don't think there's anything in the chat at the moment. No, so I think we'll hand over. I'm just aware of the time, so I think we'll hand over to Matthew now, and then if we've got hopefully 5 minutes at the end, then we will take some questions at the end, if that's okay, Matthew and Neil. How are you doing, Matthew, with the...
Yeah, sorry, Carla, I'm just finding this version. Let me share my screen. So if you're able to share from the OneDrive link that you've got, Carla, that would be great. And then
let me just see.
I'll talk over that. Great stuff. Okay. So I don't know if people can see me. I've only got Neil in my screen.
Or am I?
There we are. Yeah, I guess it's just Zoom will flick over.
We can see your slides, Matthew.
Great stuff. Okay.
Yeah, we can see that it's the general view at the moment, not the.
Yeah, if you want to go into present mode, Carla, that would be great. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. I'm ever so sorry about technical glitches. Like I said, I've just had my laptop refresh and some of my preferences I'm locked out of, so I can't go into my own screen sharing. But I'm going to talk to you about music and sound here at the University of Gloucestershire, so I can go on to the next slide. This is me. So I've got, I think Carla's going to share afterwards these slides. So please do drop me a line if you want to ask any questions. We've got our social media there. So there's some really lovely content that my colleagues and our students put up on Instagram. So we do student takeovers quite regularly. And then we're also on Twitter as well. So please do have a little look. But before I go any further, the next slide is a little video that our students have made. So let's have a quick watch of that, because it's a really nice indication of some of the things they get up to and what they feel about their course. Oh, you haven't got any volume. Oh, okay. There should be voiceovers here, Carla. So I'm guessing. Oh, it's because you're probably on. Yeah. How strange. Okay. Well, I'll fill in the gaps. So this is an end of year event that we ran a couple of years ago. The year before the lockdown happened. So these are our third year students from across our 3 courses. They put this event on themselves. It's a kind of little award ceremony that we do every year, and as you can see, they're having a fantastic time, and they're just talking about, you know, how much they've enjoyed their experiences across the course, and, you know, how it's kind of helped them develop confidence and, you know, some really lovely ideas about what they're going to do in the future. So there we are, a little bit of dancing. They literally it's booked the whole show themselves. So that's Andrew, one of our lecturing staff. They organise all the catering. The room they're in is the Pittville Pump Room. So it's a really lovely building in Cheltenham that we run lots of our social events in. So there we are. When the slides come out to you, you'll be able to listen to that in its full audio glory as well. So there we go. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide. Oh, that's it. So we're part of an organisation, a project run by UK Music. It's the Music Academic Partnership. So UK Music are the largest NGO representing music industry across the UK. They lobby UK government on all sorts of issues and represent UK commercial music sector, as well as a number of music university courses such as ours. So this is some figures that came from their report that they put together, again, just before the right before the pandemic hit. So these are kind of pre-2020 figures. But yeah, next slide just shows just how much the music industry is worth to the UK economy. So in 2020, it was worth 5.8 billion to the UK economy, that generated 2.9 billion in exports, and there are nearly 200,000 full-time jobs sustained in the UK music industry. So next slide, please, Carla. So for us, it's a really, really exciting sector to work in, and these are the 3 undergraduate courses that we run. And they're all designed to enable our students to progress into a range of established careers, not only in the UK, but across the global creative industries sector. So we have BA Music Business, BA Popular Music, and BA Sound and Music Production. So I just want to give you a little bit of an insight into what those 3 courses do. So this is Jazzy. She was running Sound Desk at 2000 Trees, one of the regional festivals that we work with. So if we go into the next few slides, it just we've mapped the BA Sound and Music Production, or SMP as we call it, to like I said, these career routes within kind of growing sound and music sector, basically. So our students look at recording and music production, sound design for screen media, game audio, live sound engineering, immersive audio, and broadcast technologies. So just a little bit on each of those now. So sound design for screen media. So you've already seen a clip of this space on Fiona's slide, but you've got some images here from our dubbing theatre. So Fiona who herself is a sound designer. She designed this space, and our students work with film students, TV students, working on composition and sound design briefs with students. And then we work with specialists from the field. So that's Joe Donahoe, who came in, who's a film composer, came in to run some masterclasses for our students. And as you can see top left there, we have all the kit that our students need to use to go out and make that great work. So next slide. We're also working a lot in game audio, and again, I'm sure colleagues in the room are aware that game audio is well, the world of gaming is a huge sector right across the world, and so the world of game audio is a growing aspect where of that sector where students are able to develop careers. So little shot there, that's Philip Reeder, one of my colleagues who runs the game audio thread within Sound and Music Production, and we work with our computer games design students on lots of collaborative projects there. So next slide. Live sound, hopefully once we're out of the pandemic, the world of live gigs will come back, and live festivals. So there's Omar, one of our students from a couple of years ago, working at a festival, and again some images from 2000 Trees. That's in the middle there, that's our sound lab, where we run all of our kind of live sound technical workshops. So we have Rosie Wise, who comes in to teach our students, who works as a live sound engineer herself. So again, helping our students develop careers in that area. So next slide. And then immersive audio, same room, but again, from a different perspective. Neil talked about this a little bit in terms of the digital media course. So virtual reality, mixed reality, immersive audio, spatial audio, they're all very much part of the new kind of creative industries for audiovisual media economy. So certainly if you're going into a cinema and experiencing Dolby Atmos, spatialized audio, there's a huge area of development there. So again, our students are kind of primed for that, and that's Mikhail Chmielewski, one of our EU students, learning about programming for immersive audio. And there's a student photograph of our students on a trip to the BBC immersive audio department in Cardiff. So if we move on, and then the last aspect of that course, what we would call our traditional music production. So, students learning how to work with bands, record bands in our music studios. You can see some shots of there, as well as in our production lab. And that's, again, one of our guests who has come in to kind of help students really get that kind of second to none information and insight into how to do top level production and mastering jobs, basically. Okay, so next slide is going to change the focus a little bit. So just going to talk about music business briefly. So this course, we've put this together, again, looking at all of the areas where there's industry work and employment opportunities for students. So we specialise in events production, in artist management. Our students are looking at copyright, intellectual property and publishing. Even today, there's an announcement from UK government where it's looking like the UK government is going to support an increase in royalty payments to artists, which is a result of some changes that have been happening over the past couple of years, certainly in terms of UK publishing and IP law. So it's a very exciting space for our students to be in. We also look at marketing. So we're helping students to put together sound and video assets. They look at data and analytics, and obviously streaming and distribution is a huge area right across the world. So that's our music business course in a nutshell. So next slide, onto BA Popular Music. So that's Robin, one of our fantastic performers. And on this course, again, we've been very forward thinking in how we put this together, looking at a diverse range of careers in the creative industries. So songwriting and performance are core to this course. So we take all sorts of genres and styles. We also look at composing for film, TV and advertising. Again, a big growth sector in terms of employment and revenue opportunities. Our students are also very capable in studio and recording techniques, and they also look at business and marketing because they need to be self-sustaining as freelancers, entrepreneurs once they leave and they also do lots of music video production as well. So it's a very holistic course, this one. Okay, next slide. So this one is some links that I've left up here that you may get from Carla anyway, but these are dedicated links that are 3D renders of all our spaces. So please do take some time to look at this. We spent over £2 million on our music and production facility. So yeah, have a little look at those. The next slide talks about how we put all of this professionalization together in terms of our partnerships. So we have some regional partnerships with 3 festivals. Cheltenham Festival is the classical music festival, but also the jazz festival. Witchwood Festival, 2000 Trees, look at music, 2000 Trees is a rock festival, Witchwood is a more kind of open-ended, kind of multi-genre kind of festival really, but our students perform there, they run stages there, and they work with artists and the production teams there. We work with Music Works and the Growth Hub to really develop entrepreneurial approaches for students. We take our students out on international trips. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. We're plugged in right into the UK Music Industry Network, and there are our partnerships working with Youth Music, the BPI, with Live Nation. We've just signed a partnership with Live Nation, and our students are now working at Reading and Leeds festivals and Latitude Festival. And as I said, we're partners with the UK Music organisation. And of course, we work closely with our local independent sector. So we're always, there's a number of venues there, Lucky Onion, Bottle of Sauce, Frog and Fiddle, so we're always putting on shows and events with our regional partners. So students coming have a really rich experience, not only of our regional music scene, but are plugged into the national and international scene as well. Thanks, Carla. So here's some graduate success to celebrate. So we've got a lovely range of students here. So MZ, one of our music business students, is now working with Blocker, who are a blockchain-based rights and IP music startup in London. Harris went on to work with a grime label, so we're really up for students, working with all sorts of genres. So yeah, grime obviously is a huge kind of music, British music, electronic phenomenon. Georgia Dillon is one of our students who actually fell in love with the theatre sector. So she's now working, she is general manager at a regional theatre in Liverpool in the UK. Danny works at Yellow Shark Studios in Cheltenham, local lad, made good. Sophie works with the Association of Independent Musicians. It's a UK-wide, again, NGO supporting the music sector. Jack David there, you might just be able to see from that picture, we have his arm around Lionel Richie. So he's Lionel Richie's marketing and events manager, and he works with a number of international artists. Demi Mariner, country and western, she really got into country pop, basically. She was #1 on the iTunes charts as a student with us, and her career has just gone on to greater and greater things. And then Jordan, I'm actually working with him as an MA student at the moment, and he's just moved to London to take up some work with community music organisations in London. So lots of really great success stories there for us. Thanks, Carla. A couple more, even more recently. So anyone with an Amazon Prime subscription can look at this film, Dead Canary. So again, a lovely collaboration between some of Fiona's film students and Guy Dawes, who you see there, was one of our popular music students who wrote the music for that. So yeah, really nice little short film there. And again, a lovely, this is just a screen grab from George's LinkedIn profile. So you can see the kind of graduate success profile of how our students put their work together. So you can see from February 2018 onwards, when he was graduating, through to now what he's done. So he's been writing music for primetime ITV music, and he's working with the BBC, and yeah, just really building his career. So last little bit I want to talk about in terms of the experience of our students. So here's how we put our 3 years together in terms of the wider world of the creative industries. So this is Glastonbury Festival. So right in the middle there is Tom Soper, smiling away, course leader for music business. And the chap with the beard is Michael Evis, who set up the Glastonbury Music Festival in the 70s. It's now his daughter Emily that runs it. But we regularly take students there to get an insight into how an international festival is run. So on the next slide, we've got a bit of a sample itinerary for what would normally happen. So just before lockdown, we took our students to Barcelona. We go to a European capital city every year, so we've got a shot there from students out on tour experiencing that. And we put events on, so our music business students book events in Barcelona or Berlin or Amsterdam, so they get experience of working with international venues, and all of our students get a chance to play and support, do all the kind of live sound of those shows. Here's what we've got on the slate for next year. So again, lots of work experience opportunities over there on the left, and our students are going to be working at all of those festivals right the way through semester 1 and semester 2. You can see how we're going to be working with lots of different partnerships. So Humber College, there are Canadian partners, so we've had some lovely experiences with students from UOG and Toronto working on joint projects, which has been fantastic. So last of this bit is our music and sound team. So again, I've put some links in here that you might want to follow up. All of our staff are, active practitioners, so you can see our staff teams and find out more about our courses there. And there's a lovely slide just here. Here's Mark, course leader for popular music. That's his band Islet, who in 2019 were on tour in South Korea, and then they went on to win the Neutron Prize for their latest record in 2020. So very, very active, and there he is, with his last record out for that. And then again, there's me. So please do drop us a line. We'd love to talk more if you have any more questions about what we're doing. So thanks ever so much.